How's it going, my geeky brethren? Welcome to Newegg TV and another fantabulous episode of Yolk'd. I'm Kyle.
And I'm Paul. Today I am awash with both excitement and fear as we plunge headlong into a plethora of tech stories. Our top story, Joanne's gone missing, again. Don't know where she is. Kyle, any theories?
No, we should probably do something like call the cops. Nah, she's fine.
Under the news.
If you're one of the many enraged gamers that bought SimCity this week but couldn't play it due to EA's overwhelmed servers, you're probably even more furious if Origin's customer support denied you a refund of the game. That was the case for Kevin at least, until he took matters into his own hands by writing up an executive email carpet bomb, or EECB. It all started on launch day, when the game didn't even show up in Kevin's Origin queue for 6 hours. Only after its overdue appearance was he able to install the game and be met with more freezing than a phase change cooling unit. Over the next 3 days, Kevin was unable to play the game for more than 30 minutes before finally demanding a refund. After being denied multiple times by Origin's so-called support, Kevin wrote an expressive but proper email to the CEO of EA and the lead producer of SimCity. An hour later, a sympathizing customer service rep responded to Kevin's email and walked him through processing his long-awaited refund. And even though it's undoubtedly awesome that an average gamer like Kevin was able to stick it to the man by, well, talking to the man, clearly it's also a sign of EA's horrible customer service if the only way to get a refund from them is to go above their heads completely. However, the even larger problem here, folks, that started this whole mess in the first place is undoubtedly EA's always-on DRM. As a gamer, the idea of forcing users to play a single-player game online for no other reason besides the company's misanthropic view of consumers is sickening, not to mention their complete failure to host enough reliable service to run that game in the first place. It's almost as bad as finding out the company then offers little to no restitution for those affected. It almost makes me want to build a SimCity just so I can light it on fire and watch it burn to the ground. Then again, how can a city be on fire if it's already frozen?
AMD announced 4 new high-performance, low-power mobile APUs this week, codenamed Richland and destined for use in upcoming laptop computers. All 4 APUs sport a 35-watt TDP, Radeon HD 8000 series integrated graphics, and 2 or 4 cores depending on the SKU in question. The entry-level A4, for example, is a dual-core APU with a 3.3 GHz turbo-core frequency. Its HD 8350G iGPU features 128 Radeon cores with a maximum operating frequency of 720 MHz. At the top end, you have the A10 5750M, a quad-core running at 3.5 GHz in turbo mode with an integrated HD 8650G that also runs at 720 MHz but ups the Radeon core count to 384. These APUs promise to offer faster graphics performance and longer battery life for notebooks, but fear not if you're more interested in the socketed versions of these chips. Low voltage and desktop variants of these AMD Elite A-series APUs are expected to be announced and available in the first half of 2013.
In less than 24 hours, every rumor you've ever heard about Samsung's Galaxy S4 will either be confirmed or denied. So far, speculation has it that the next-gen smartphone will have a thinner bezel, aluminum accents on the sides, and a larger 5-inch display. Other popular rumors suggest the implementation of NFC-style mobile wallets and an eye-tracking software that automatically scrolls a page up or down based on how your eye moves across the page. Now, this isn't too far of a stretch, though, considering Samsung's Smart Stay feature on the Galaxy S3, which kept your screen from dimming if you were looking at it. Now, while all of that sounds nice and dandy, I take it those aren't the specs you're looking for. Rumors of a 1080 by 1920 display, 13 megapixel camera, and 2 gigs of RAM all seem to be reappearing across multiple sources. The processor, however, remains in question, with the 2 prime suspects being Samsung's own Exynos 5 octa processor, clocked at 1.8 GHz with 4 main cores, or the Snapdragon 600, clocked at 1.9. Also, AMOLED screen? I got nothing after that. If you're dying to know all the fine details when they come to light, the Galaxy S4 will be announced at an event held in New York City on Thursday, March 14th at 6 p.m.
Thanks for that story, Kyle. And next, we would usually throw it over to Joanne for announcements, but I don't know where she is.
Yeah, she still hasn't turned up. But you know what? Screw it. Let's cut to camera 2 and see what happens.
Roll camera 2.
Thanks, guys. I'm Elric, and this is this week's announcement. This week, we will have the AMD Triple Threat Never Settle Facebook Sweepstakes, running from February 25th until March 24th. This sweepstakes is a Facebook sweepstakes, thus, entrants must have a Facebook account in order to enter. Over $3,700 in prizes, including an iBuyPower custom-engraved Crysis 3 Crossfire dual gaming desktop PC, Asus VS Series LCD monitors, XFS video cards, and AMD FX 8350 Vishera CPU, and more. For all the details, make sure you guys check out the link in the description below.
Elric, you son of a...
Ow! Hey, come on!
Mother! Hey, I'll teach you to steal my job!
Was that Elric from Tekken Tomorrow?
Yeah, I think that was. Hey, you know, if he makes it out of this one alive, we just might have a new addition to the Newegg TV team.
Well, I guess you guys will just have to stay tuned and find out. But until then, let's send it over to me for more tech news. I don't know how many of our YouTube fans are also Twitterites, but as an international Twitter celebrity myself with a rabid 2,500 member following, a recent CNET article caught my attention. It seems that the FTC has seen fit to limit my ability to profit from my Twitter feed, imposing harsh restrictions on the rampancy of Twitter ads. Celebrity tweeters in particular have been targeted. These poor souls must now qualify their sponsored ads by actually indicating that the tweet in question is a sponsored ad. They even had the audacity to require qualifications within each ad tweet indicating that results may not be typical, or your mileage may vary, or that type of language, depending on the product being advertised, of course. How the FTC expects these celebrities to include all this information in 140 characters and still make the tweet legible is anybody's guess, so I'll be using the hashtag IGPTST. Obviously, this stands for I got paid to say this, a connection that my intelligent, good-looking, and remarkably perceptive followers will make immediately. Now I just need to find someone who will pay me to tweet something.
After condemning the Mario Bros. And Pokemon games for their explicit depiction of animal abuse, the infamous PETA has shifted its crosshair on Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, the latest addition to the series, for its glorification of whaling. You heard that right. According to PETA, the video game industry should be more like PETA. As they wrote, PETA encourages video game companies to create games that celebrate animals, not games that promote hurting and killing them. I don't think PETA knows that 90% of the game consists of murdering people and stealing their crap. Apparently they're cool with that, but not the virtual harpooning of fake whales. However, as awesome as PETA is ridiculous, Assassin's Creed developer Ubisoft issued a response full of glorious bone-dry sarcasm, stating, "Even if the game does glorify whaling, as it certainly glorifies the life of a pirate, I don't think it will lead to a generation of gamers who head to the Caribbean to hunt down humpbacks. Just as I don't think anyone who played the previous Assassin's Creed games have found employment as a murderer for hire." Well said, Ubisoft. It's clear PETA's petty outbursts won't be effective at changing anything if they continue to waste their breath on video games instead of attacking real issues like actual animal cruelty. Nonetheless, I tend to find whatever twisted video game parody they conjure up to be oddly amusing. In fact, I have an idea for the next one. It features a killer whale named Buddy who finds and assassinates whale poachers with his trusty harpoon. At the end of the game, Buddy discovers he's actually a human schizophrenic turned serial killer haunted by his traumatic past as a boy aboard his father's whaling ship. In a sudden moment of clarity, Buddy presses the cold end of the harpoon against his temple and... Brought to you by our furry friends at PETA. Love animals.
Do you watch cable TV? If you do, you're probably paying a monthly subscription fee to a cable service provider. The Nielsen Company, a leading global information and measurement group responsible for telling the networks how many of your eyeballs they can sell each month, has recently addressed an issue that they previously considered taboo. It's called cord cutting, and it's a growing trend amongst consumers who aren't into paying $100 a month for a 2,000-channel package when they're really only interested in the Game Show Network and Comedy Central. According to a recent Tech Dirt article, Nielsen admits that 5% of Americans fall into this zero TV category. To join up, just cancel your cable TV subscription. And don't worry, there's still plenty of ways to while away your spare hours in front of a screen, having useless information spoon-fed into your frontal lobe. You've got over-the-air broadcasts and, of course, the wealth of streaming video content available on the internet, like our YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe.
And that is going to do it for the tech news as well as this very interesting episode of Yolk'd.
Right you are, Kyle, and I hope our fans are as excited as we are, because if Elric gets out of the ICU alive, well, we're going to ask if he wants to join our team permanently.
That's right, but that's all the time we have for now, so on behalf of myself, Paul, Elric, and Joanne, thank you all for watching Newegg TV, and until next time, you've just been Yolk'd! Alright, ready? 1, 2, 3. Shit. Boo. That is going to wrap it up.
Wait, are you cheater?
And that's going to wrap it up for this week's episode. Oh, it's so perfect, too. It's so perfect.